Hey, it's Jordan with TYT Politics. I'm here with Bobby Kennedy Jr. You are here in Standing Rock in support of water protectors and the law. We know that this is treaty land, but that's been lost in the discussion. Can you kind of shine a light, your thoughts on the injustice that's happening here?
Well, we've been out, Waterkeeper's been here since August, so almost from the beginning, because we recognize the importance of this battle and the courage of the local people and really standing up, the tribal people, and standing up for an issue that is important for all Americans and everybody in the world, which is how are we going to transition off of dinosaur, dangerous fuel, addictive fuels from hell to the green, clean, wholesome, and patriotic fuels from heaven. And in terms of the legal situation out here, I think that one of the most troubling thing to Americans about this battle is that you have an outlaw company that is clearly breaking the law, that is violating the National Environmental Policy Act, our most important environmental law, by failing to do an EIS that the law requires them to do. And so you have a law-breaking company and arrayed against the people, native people, who are simply peacefully asking that the law be complied with. And you have the full power of the military, of the state and federal governments coming in here and using military instruments to attack them on behalf of a company that's behaving in a criminal way. And I think that's a bad optic for our country, because it's the same optic that we've seen since the genocide started 500 years ago.
And when you look at the way this unfolded, it was originally they were going to put it through Bismarck, which is predominantly white. The Bismarck residents said, we don't want the pipeline here. 5 minutes later, they put it through the Native Americans' land with little consultation. So there's an element of environmental racism.
Yeah, and that's an old story. I mean, I've been doing environmental advocacy for 30 years, and I learned from the beginning that people of color, minorities, and Native people are disproportionately burdened by the costs of environmental injury. 4 out of every 5 toxic waste dumps in this country is in a black neighborhood. The largest toxic waste dump in America is in Emile, Alabama, which is 70% black. The highest concentration of toxic waste dumps is the south side of Chicago. The most contaminated zip code in California is East LA. Navajo youths have 1,000 times the rate of sexual organ cancer as the rest of Americans because of the thousands of tons of toxic uranium tailings that have been dumped onto their lands. So wherever there's an obnoxious facility that other people don't want, people who have political connections, political clout, who have a voice in our democracy, the easiest thing to do is to move it to Indian lands or the land of poor or minority Americans. And that's part of this story. But there's another part of this story, which is, if you look at what is this company trying to avoid, why don't they do an EIS? The reason they really don't want to do the EIS, and XL Pipeline did an EIS, and they were only 7 miles longer than this pipeline. So it's clear, and the chicanery that they've used to escape doing it is illegal. You can't segment. What they've done is they've broken this project and pretended that it's hundreds of little projects instead of one big long pipeline. So, and that's illegal. Segmentation is specifically, explicitly illegal under the National Environmental Policy Act. Why have they done that? The reason they did that is because they don't want people to look at the costs and benefits of this project. Because if you look what's really happening here, this is a project that is going to enrich a few billionaires by like Donald Trump, by impoverishing the rest of Americans. And the oil is not going to stay here to benefit our country. It's going to be shipped to Asia, where it's going to compete against us, and it's going to contaminate the planet. So there are huge, to say that they can do a short form environmental impact statement, which is what they tried to do here, because the project is so inconsequential that it can't be characterized as a major environmental project, is ridiculous. This project is going to create more greenhouse gas than 29 coal plants. and it's going to cross 200 and disrupt 209 water bodies. To say that you don't need to do an environmental impact statement for that because it's a trivial project, it's an inconsequential project, is just a lie. It's what they're doing is just out and out law breaking. And the sad part about this is that they have the power, the military power of the state on their side.
Last question. When you look at even yesterday, President Obama's administration, they are delaying their decision on the final permits, saying they need more time. What is it that they're looking at? Because it seems very clear it would be going through a main water source for 18 to 20 million people. Land has already been dug up where ancestors are buried. What do you think the president is missing and should be looking at?
Well, I don't know. That's unclear to me because it's not like we're saying to the president, we want you to shut down this pipeline. I mean, some people would like him to just say that, but I think the no-brainer that the law requires him to do is to tell the Corps of Engineers, I'm not going to tell you to shut it down or to let them go on, but I am going to tell you that they've got to do a cost-benefit analysis. They've got to tell us what they're going to do and what the costs are going to be to the American people and who's going to get the benefit. And then let the chips fall where they may. I believe that if the American people see that calculation, they will shut down this pipe immediately. But we're not asking any politician to do that. What we're asking the politicians to do is simply force this company to comply with the laws that apply to every other American. And the people on those barricades are asking for law and order. That's all, peacefully asking for compliance with the law. And to meet them with bullets, with plastic bullets, and with pepper spray, and with tear gas, and with these sophisticated and horrific sound attacks.
Illegal strip searches, not reading rights to people you arrest.
Yeah, it's really dismaying that is, and it's metaphorical to what, to the battles that have been fought by these people for 500 years. They're fighting a battle for us, incidentally. They're fighting the battle to save humanity, to transition us. This is the spear tip of the battle for the transition to clean energy. And they're fighting it, and they're fighting it in a democratic, peaceful way, and asking for compliance with the law. It's for 500 years, these people have seen that when they comply with the laws and treaties, and somebody else, a big company, says there's something shiny on your land we need now, so those treaties don't count anymore, those laws don't count anymore, and that's what we're seeing again, and that's really disheartening.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.